Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the lush valleys of China, there lived an old man. This man was known throughout the village for his storytelling skills. They would gather around him every evening as he sat under the old cherry blossom tree in the center of the village. One day, as the villagers were gathered around him, the old man began to tell a tale. Once, in the land of dragons and emperors, there was a young boy named Li who lived in a small, remote village. Li had always been fascinated by the stories of the great dragons that lived in the nearby mountains. The old man's voice rose and fell with the rhythm of his words. His audience leaned forward, enraptured by the tale. One day, Li decided that he must see the dragons for himself. He set off on a long journey to the mountains, and after many days of walking, he finally reached their lair. The dragons saw Li and immediately became angry. "Who dares to disturb our peace?" they thundered. Li was terrified, but he stood his ground. "I have come to learn from you," he said. The dragons were surprised. They had never heard of a human who wanted to learn from them. "Very well," they said finally. "We will teach you our secrets, but only if you promise never to reveal them to anyone." The old man paused dramatically. So Li spent many years in the mountains, learning from the dragons. When he finally returned to his village, he was a changed man. He had wisdom beyond his years, and he shared the dragon's teachings with all those who would listen. The villagers sat in silence for a moment, processing the story. Finally, one of them spoke up. "But how did Li learn to speak with the dragons?" she asked. The old man smiled. "Ah, that is a tale for another day," he replied with a twinkle in his eye. And with that, he stood up and walked away, leaving his audience with a sense of wonder and mystery.